Welcome to shul.com. We are discussing a very interesting question in halacha, one that might surprise you. The question is, when a baby is born, specifically a baby boy, can you name the baby before the BRIT MILAH on the 8th day? That's the question. Baby's born, there's going to be a BRIT MILAH. For some reason or another, it's delayed. For whatever reason, can you name it before? Let's take a look at it. And here is the Tishupat brought down by dean.org.il, all sourced out really nicely. Let's begin. יש מקורות בהרבה ראשונים ואחרונים למנהג זה כפי שהובא באריכות ובמקורות. He's saying there's a lot of proofs about this, and let's see what he's referring to. תינוק שנולד חולה, a child that is born sick, לא עלינו, ואין מקיימים את הברית בזמנה, and they don't do the brit milah in its time. ניתן להקדים את קריאת השם לפני הברית. It's recommended to do the name of the baby before the brit milah. ונוהגים לעשות זו בעלייה לתורה. They get an aliyah and they do the name of the Torah. ואם הוא בכור, עושים זאת בפדיון הבן. And if he was a בכור, we do this at the פדיון הבן. ויש הסוברים שבכל מקרה אין מקדימים את קריאת השם לפני הברית מילה. And some people hold that you never name the baby before the ברית מילה. ובמקרה שקראו השם לפני הברית מילה, let's say the person did it. He didn't know, or for whatever reason or another, he went before the Brit Milah. And so the text would be Shenikra Shemo B'Yisrael, not Sheyikre Shemo B'Yisrael, that it would be called. It says Shenikra in the past, that he already named them. The Abu Darham brings down that text, which means the Abu Darham is a book from like the year 1000. It's a very old book and well used in the tefillah and many things. So if he has it there, that means it probably had happened in the past. Let's take a look at some of the mekorot. המקור המוקדם ביותר למנהג זה הוא בספר כללי המילה לרבי יעקב הגוזר חי לפני למעלה מ-700 שנה. So it's a book that I'm not familiar with the book, but it's from over 700 years ago about all the כללים of ברית מילה. שמביא מנהג זה, he brings it down, וגם מסבירו וכותב שעד עתה לפני המילה היה שם טומאה לפניו וחרפה, שם עורלות, ועכשיו שנימול וקיימו בו מצוות המילה, צריך לשנות שמו לשבח. So once you remove the orla and the tum'ah, then you change the name, or give the name, לשבח, וכו'. ומביא מקור למנהג זה, שאצל אברהם, עד שלא מל בשר עולתו, היה שמו אברהם, with aleph bet resh mem. So he says that before the Brit Milah, he had one name. Umiyad kishenimol, right after Abraham Avinu does the Brit Milah, nishana shemo l'shevach, he added another letter to his name, Shevach. V'nitosaf lo ot echat v'nikra Abraham. They added the letter Abraham. When was that done? After the Brit Milah. So that's a source that you name at the Brit Milah. Let's look at another one. B'kivun ze kotev gam Rash migarmiza. Who's that? That's Rab Shlomo ben Shimshon migarmiza. He was one of the rabbis of Rashi. Garmiza could be worms. It could be, there's a few places today that classifies that city. Okay, so and he writes Besidoro ot kuf yud tet v'zeh lashonot ve'lama en korim shem la'na'ar ki im beyom hamilah. So why don't we call it before the fish lo nikra Avraham el Abraham ki im b'shat milato v'chule ayen sham? He doubles down on what the previous Sefer Klalei Hamilah Rabbi Yaakov HaGozer that he said same thing. It was Abraham. ובספר מטה משה בענייני המילה אות י"ח כתוב נעמי also writes בכזאת ובקצרה בלשון זה תניא וקורא לו שם כי אברהם לא נקרא אברהם כי אם בשעת המילה עד כאן לשונו כאילו זה ברייתא באיזו מקום. He puts the word Tanya and he puts it here in quote unquote like almost that it's coming from a brayta somewhere, but we don't have that as a brayta, at least not well known in the Gemara. גם לרבות בפירוש התפילות והברכות לרי בר יקר, it's רבו של הרמב"ם, כותב בברכות המילה, in the book בברכות המילה, זה לשונו. ואומר, קיים את הילד הזה לאביו ולאמו, ויקרא שמו בישראל, כך. רציתי לומר שלא רצה לקרוא לו בשם עד עכשיו, שנימול ונעשה ישראל, כדי שיהיה שמו קיים וכו'. And then he says, go check it out, ביתר אריכות. יעוין שם ביתר אריכות. ונשמע דבריו שזה גם סגולה לאיכות ימים, כדי שיהיה שמו קיים. So he says here that if you want the name to last, from this Rav, the rabbi of the Ramban in Beberachot HaMilah, that it should be done at the Brit Milah. Ubesefer Chesed LaAbraham. That's from the Mikubal Rabbi Abraham Azulai, Benahar, Nun Bet Kotev. Shelachen Nahagu Shelo Yikre Lo Shem Rak Achar HaMilah. That they would only name after the Brit Milah. Mipnei Shekol Od Sheyesh Lo Achiza BeOrla. That every time that the child has the Orla, Betum'ah, then Tum'ah I Efshar Sheyachud Alab HaNeshama. The Neshama is not going to be fully on him. He can't call his name B'Israel, B'rak Achar HaMilah, because it says Shenikra Shemo B'Israel, that his name is Israel, but he has an Orla. He's not part of Israel. He can't. This baby doesn't Brit Milah cannot eat the Korban Pesach. He can't. There's issues here. So how do you mean? What do you mean? You're telling me Ikra Shemo B'Israel? He's not part of Israel yet. B'rak Achar HaMilah. After the Orla is removed, then the secret of Neshama, B'Shem Adam Yisraeli Ayin Sham. It goes after the Orla is removed, then you name now Nikra Shemo B'Yisrael. Ubesefer Otzar Kol Minhagei Yeshurun. Siman Mem Aleph Otzayin. Kotev B'Shem Otzar HaShemot. שנדע כי כבר בימי הבית שני נהגו כן לקרוא בשם לבן הנולד בעת המילה. It goes even from the second Bet HaMikdash in that time, they would call the name of the child from the day of the Brit Milah. אמנם, יש שהביאו ראיה מקריאת שמו של יצחק שהיה עוד לפני שנסתווה למולו. So let's take a look. When it came to Yitzhak Avinu, that name was given before he had the Brit Milah. So how did that work? אין הוכיח מכך מכיוון ששם היה ציווי מיוחד על שמו עוד לפני לידתו. So there, the Chachamim say, no, it's a little different because he gave him a name of a child even before the child was born. So the child wasn't even born and he had a name because they said, because you laughed, kitzachak, no, lo sahaka, and then that was the whole story there. Omnam, kol ze kasher tinok bari b'shalem. When the baby is healthy and shalem and full, ach kasher tinok nolad pag. Let's say that baby is born premature, or is not feeling well. They can't do the Brit Milah in its time. Matzinu בכמה מדברי הפוסקים, we see from Allah, שכתבו שראוי להקדים את זמן קריאת השם התינוק עוד לפני הברית מילה. So there were poskim that said that in those cases, when it's a normal case, don't name it before the 8th day. Do it on the Brit Milah. But if there's a case of an extension of the Brit Milah for whatever reason, there are poskim that would say, if for whatever reason the Brit Milah is going to be on the 10th, the 14th, or afterward day, you could name it before. כן כתב להלכה בשו"ת, אז נדברו, חלק י' ג' סימן עין ג' בביא שם מעשה רב, בעניין זה מהמשגיח דפנוביץ', וכן הביא מעשים בזה בשם הגאון רב שח, והגאון רב משה פיינשטיין, והאדמו"ר בסטמר. So he brought a few of them, זצ"ל. וכן כתב בחמודי דניאל, הובא בספר הברית, בספר זיכרון ברית ירושלים עמוד 298. ושם כתב, לעשות זאת בזמן קריאת התורה. He said, when you do that, and you do it earlier because the baby has to do Brit Milah extended, do it at the time of the Torah. וכן כתב מהר"ם בריסק. So we have another one, חלק ב' סימן זין ועוד, אומנם בשם הגדי קניאבסקי, and הביאו שהורו להמתין בכל מקרה עד הברית, וכן כתב באוצר הברית פרק ו' סימן ב' שכך נוהגים. So he brought here pretty much all the opinions that they're both allowed. Obviously, if a baby is healthy, it seems from what's being taught here that the baby for sure should have it on the 8th day. If it was named before, it is okay, as brought down from a bunch of these sources. A lot of the sources here that we do see were from Ashkenaz Poskim. We have Rav Shach, Rav Feinstein, Rav Satmar, and in those cases, they brought down, and even Rav Kanievsky, this was not Rav Chaim Kanievsky, this was the Stipler, his father, that there are situations where if it was before, you can name the name before if the baby wasn't feeling well. And so that is what we have here on naming a baby before. We're going to continue on doing this from a few other sources in order to get a full picture of naming a baby before, but it clearly is not asur. Even if the baby was healthy, it's seemingly from here, it's not asur to do it. It may not be the minhag, and the right minhag from the time of the Beit HaMikdash, and from one of the Mohadim, Rabbi Yaakov HaGozer from 700 years ago, that they only named on the Brit Milah. But if someone did it, the Abu Darham had the text already in there that it was permitted. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen.